Alright, I'm gonna second try this. What's up, guys? I've never made a video before. I don't think there's gonna any traction, but I'm gonna try and make it just my thoughts on something that I don't see people talking a lot about in the community. Anyways, if you're like me and you suck at the game, I'm a 6-digit. I'm horrible. You've probably accepted coaching in OSU, or maybe you look a lot at the advice of top players, which makes sense. And so, in my case, I'm going to compare myself to. I took a coaching session from one digital hypno. He's a cool guy. I like him, but I don't think he's right about everything when he gives advice. Everyone has their own way of doing things, of course, but in the coaching session I received, and I assume what he gives to a lot of lower rank players for just general advice, is he recommends a very long warm-up session where you do like auto method, flamingo method, like KHZ method, and then you like work your way up the SR until you like get to your highest SR generally or something, and then you just play B ranks, try and get like A ranks, from B ranks to A ranks, kind of general stuff. And if you want to do that all in one session, it's like easy. Trust me, I followed that routine for 6 months, and each session was at least 2 hours. To get everything done is actually more like 3. And I think that's a huge mistake, personally. Obviously, digital hypno is really good at the game, and I'm not, so take that with a giant grain of salt. But I don't think that's a great way of improvement. I didn't see a lot of improvement anecdotally, personally, but I think there's actually a lot of science behind it as well. Kind of separated, but on a similar note, I'm basically trying to point out. People talk a lot about session. People don't talk a lot about it, but it's comes up quite a bit in improvement videos of like how many hours should you practice a day. It's like play more, the play more method. But people don't really talk about how many sessions you should do a day. It's kind of just assumed like you're just playing one session a day. So like you play 3 hours straight, 2 hours straight, or whatever, and you're done. And I think that's horrible. Like for example, Femboy Tummy, I forgot his real name, but he's the top Canadian player, speed guy. VUK was his name. He made in his big speed video. He advocates for he compares playing OSU to like weightlifting. And if anyone, if you weightlifted before, you know that really you weightlift and then you do it once a day. You don't have multiple weightlifting sessions. If you're really advanced, if you're like a strong man or trying to compete, then you may be doing 2 or 3 sessions a day because you need to, because you're so close to your genetic limit. But that's a corner case, and that doesn't apply to the general human being. Doesn't need to do that. And so the problem with this analogy that Mr. Ryuki gives, and I think by extension everyone is kind of operating under, you're just kind of treating it more like weightlifting. It's your hands and your fingers and whatnot do not have muscles in them. It doesn't work like that. You can't just push your hands to exhaustion and expect your hands to get bigger. It's really when you're improving in OSU, at least in my estimation, is whatchamacallit, muscle memory, not reaction. The modern day Neanderthal that is a Valorant player may say that it's reaction time, but it's really just muscle memory. And if you look at sport practice research, and scientific papers and whatnot regarding sports practice, you'll find that the most excellent athletes, Olympic athletes, and also not just sports, perhaps like a violinist or just an expert in their field in a certain sports-like muscle memory-based competition or activity, are not people that are practicing for 4 hours straight. They're practicing for maybe 4 hours a day, but what they're really doing is they're practicing for an hour when they maybe wake up, or a little bit after they wake up, and then they rest for 3 hours, and they let their mind and their mind isn't like their neurons and their nervous system relax, and then they practice again for maybe an hour or 30 minutes. Probably, it will depend on the person and the activity and the level of competency and endurance. Yeah, and I think I've generally summarized the point here, but to put it bluntly, it's probably not good to play for 4 hours straight. If you want to play for 4 hours, which might even still be too much, you should play for maybe an hour and then take a 3-hour break and then play for an hour again. I think that is, you'll be much fresher, you'll encounter a lot less fatigue, and I think most importantly, you'll stop developing bad habits in terms of tapping and aim. I know I personally, just to exit this replay, I personally have felt like this method of what do you want to call it? Structuring practice sessions has been a lot more effective than the 6 months I did on the what I'll call the digital hypno method. I don't know if it's really like his main thing or not, but like for 6 months I was only able to play like 5-star, 4-star maps because each of my sessions would be so long, I would get tired by the end of my warm-up, and I would have no leftover mental capacity to play anything harder than perhaps a song like this. I think and I would not even do very good on these. These are all my B ranks, but then the second, for example, this was the first song I started playing in the new style. I would instead just push skill cap. Obviously, that's a different discussion, but I would push skill cap with shorter practice sessions, and all of a sudden, my skill cap goes way up. I start passing 7 stars, and I see general improvement, and I'm back at my highest rank I've ever been at, or close to it. So yeah, I think that's generally the idea. Who knows? You know, as I said, for UK, every single person above me is better than me. I suck at the game, but that is just my thoughts. And yeah, that's the video.